I'm Blake.
And I'm Jamie.
And she has no idea what we're doing. We're blamey.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I know she doesn't know what we're doing. Today we're talking about something I just forgot. What was it we were going to talk about? It was important. It was good. It was questions.
He's like, I have an idea for a video and push the start.
Yeah, and it was going to be great. And I was going to ask her a question about books that, oh, here it is. How do you decide when you're going to finish a series
Ooh.
as opposed to not finish a series? Now, preface this first. Jamie has a problem. Okay, Jamie, we went to Kohl's a little while ago, and we have 2 kids, and those kids are like 5 and 7. Not quite there. They're turning those ages here in just a second, right? To give you context. And there was a baby toy that matched a set of baby toys that we have, and Jamie had to buy it.
Listen, I did. I really had to buy it.
So listen, I'm not saying this is her fault. I'm just saying she has a problem where she has this compulsion to finish things. And that extends to book series in a bad way. But there are certain book series that she won't finish or haven't moved on onto. I don't know which ones, but I know they exist. So my question is, what makes you stop reading a book series or a book?
First of all, I feel personally attacked.
I mean, I did mention your name and the problems you have multiple times, so that's probably fair.
This is so hard for me. There's a couple that I have not finished or have not yet finished.
Okay. What ones have you? Can you name one that you have not yet finished and you're not going to? That you DNF'd?
Oh no. What was that? Dart one. Christelle's Dart.
Oh.
I didn't even finish the first one. I'm not going back to that one.
That's fine. So that one is interesting because it was the content that has caused you to finish it, not necessarily the series. It was too sexually explicit, I believe, was the problem there.
It's a little out there.
So sounds like I should read it. So what else? What else? Yeah.
Okay,
any others that you
one that
DNF?
comes to mind, I did DNF it, but then someone talked me into reading it. It was the Red Queen series. I read the first one, and I was like, okay, that was fine.
You mean that series we own every book of out there?
Yeah, every single one. It was the first one was fine. I liked the idea, I liked the concept, the magic in it was really cool. It just didn't compel me. The ending just kind of like, I was like, oh, it's one of these type of books. I don't really care to go down that road. Fast forward a year later, I was talking to a stranger, and she's like, you gotta finish this series. It's so good. A stranger should not have listened to this stranger. Anyway, I picked up the second, and it was not good. And the third was horrible. Actually, the third was better. The second was horrible. The fourth one was just awful. I am so mad at it. So that one I really just should have trusted my gut. Why are you still laughing? Okay. Other ones that come to mind is Crave. I read the first one. The only reason I could see myself finishing this one is it just was so easy and light and breezy and like ridiculous but entertaining. So like a year or 2 from now, I could totally see myself just in the mood for one of those books, and I would know that, well, maybe. I assume the second one's very similar to the first one, like the same. I mean, the first one took place in 1 week, so there's still a whole school year to go through. Another one.
So I've got 3 that I know you haven't finished, and all 3 are ones I've recommended to you.
You know what's one?
What?
Mistborn, the second version of
That was one I was going to bring up. Yeah, the Alloy of Law, the Wax and Wayne series.
Okay, so Mistborn was awesome. I loved all 3 books. Pretty sure I gave all 3 of them 5 stars. Really, really good. Ended awesome. So then, of course, I'm excited to start the next one because I figure it's like more of the same. I think the Western or like it just wasn't compelling, and the characters I just couldn't love yet. I don't know. That one I don't think I'll finish.
I need some stranger to talk to you and convince you to do that one again, because actually, weirdly, Alloy of Law is excellent. Bands of Mourning and Shadows of Self are some of my least favorite of Sanderson's writing. But Alloy of Law may be my favorite in the Mistborn series.
Whoa, no.
So it's interesting there.
That one it just did not grab me.
Interesting. Yeah, so that was one. There's 2 more that I thought of that I've shared with you that you did not finish.
Redwall.
Redwall is another one. Right.
It's been so long. I started that one 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That one might have just been a timing thing.
Yep. So another one is same vein. You read one of the books and decided you didn't like it or the series, but Artemis Fowl, right?
Yeah.
Which is a kind of a beloved children YA level one. I mean, it's beloved enough. Disney made a movie of it recently that I heard was awful.
It's really bad.
But like it was interesting that things I recommend to you, you're not as compelled to finish as Strangers.
No,
Yeah.
that was a really poor judgment. Artemis Fowl. I just didn't appreciate it. I don't know how to explain that besides saying like I understood the themes were cool and like the whole secret world under the ground and this like spoiled kid, like all of that's cool and fine, but I didn't feel like I needed to keep going.
Uh-huh.
Also, another one that's just like that is Aragon. But I think Aragon, I just have heard so many horrible things about the ending that I'm like, why would I bother with that?
Mm.
So I'll finish Aragon. I'm still in the middle of Aragon. I'll finish Aragon because I feel like that's one you just need to read. But I have no desire to finish that series.
Any others that you've DNF'd?
There's one that I just finished a couple weeks ago called The Queen's Rising. Very YA. But that one, stop.
You mean the one that sequel just came in the mail the other day?
Yeah. To be fair, I bought the second one before I finished the first one. I was really enjoying the first one.
Okay.
The problem with this one is that the first one wrapped up so nicely with like ribbons and everything. Like it was a very clean ending. I feel like that is so complete that I'm like, do I dare go to a second one and just like open that back up? Because it's probably just gonna be like some spin-off thing, like a Graceling type thing. I can't decide if I'm gonna read it, but I own it.
Because you gotta complete the collection there.
Yeah.
So all right, well, this was talking about Jamie's DNF problem.
Do you not have that problem? You can just stop.
Definitely with series, I didn't do it. I tend to not do it with a book. I mean, there are a few where I've just gotten like halfway into it and I'm like, nah. But I also read books really fast, and so a lot of times it's like, well, I'll just power through and finish this and get it done and move on here so I can have it checked. And because there are books where I'm in the middle of them, I'm like, meh. And by the end of it, I'm like, this is amazing. So I can kind of at least give a book enough of a leeway.
Yeah.
Series are different, right? So there's definitely series. The Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind is one where I read the first 6 or 7 and then just was like don't need to read anymore.
I still have another one.
Yeah.
Dresden.
Oh.
I read the first one. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Dresden at least could make some sense in my mind because it's so episodic.
Yeah.
Right? Where it literally feels like a TV episode of like, great, I watched that one TV episode. Like, I know there's other episodes, but it didn't feel like necessarily there's a bunch of loose ends out there that you have to follow up.
Totally.
All of the other episodes are awesome and be worthwhile. Any other DNFs before we hopefully don't have everybody DNF this video? You stay here and you watch the rest of it. Okay.
He's such a boy.
Yeah.
I don't know that any more come to mind. Oh, there were a couple of book club books.
Oh.
Like The Crucible, or like The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, or like there's just a few that I was like, I'm good here.
Those do sound kind of awful.
But book club books are really easy because normally it's a kit. I'm given a book and I just have to give it back. So it's like, if I'm not liking this, I have all these other books I want to read. I don't feel bad to.
So what is it about like a book club book that doesn't compel you where like the Red Queen series did?
Just more up my alley. Things that I like. There's romance. There's adventure. There's, it's not like just boring information, or the writing style sometimes gets me. I don't know.
Okay. So last question.
Okay.
How do we get you to like DNF like kid toy sets?
Oh my gosh.